Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 3G Theater, where the magic of the silver screen meets the charm of Fallout. Broadcasting to you from the heart of Charleston. We're here to take you on a delightful journey. Now let's meet our host.
Due to Cowan recording someone else's camp that was submitted, you're out of here. You're not allowed to judge. The hell.
Hey, I'm back. Does that mean I can still judge?
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. Just because Bethesda has faulty traps and they don't always work.
Well, it's not my fault, but fine. I'll just do it myself then.
You're always so overly dramatic. First one we're going to take a look at is a camp by Dazmead. Now, this location's down in Shenandoah. It's just above the communist area where the lake's at. Just north of that, there's a painting with an easel. And I've seen a lot of camps that were built over here that were art related because of that scene that Bethesda left there. And honestly, I think that this is the best one that I've seen so far.
Yeah, I would have to agree. The level of detail and the thought that they put into this is just over the top. It's really bringing together that artist studio vibe. I like the brick walls on the side, flipped around with the vines, and like you mentioned earlier, we have this little scene here of the table with the paintbrush and the canvas. You got the paintings stacked up out front like they're getting ready to be sold off to the art auction. Multiple different layers of walls and texture with the vines, the windows, the pavilion walls inside here.
Yeah, the most impressive thing to me about this is the ability to tell the story. One of the most creative things that I've seen from this camp is using that cannon machine. You know, you got our new cannery, and simulating that, hey, this is a paint mixer. You know, I absolutely love that. But the impressive thing to me is the storytelling aspect. You can clearly see that this was an artist's home, and it may not appear like it's that highly manipulated until you start looking at the details, like that catwalk hand railing, the blind in the fireplace, things like that.
Yeah, it really brings it together. Also, they used Daz, you used the confetti for the floor. I really like the way you did that. You have your paint cans stacked on chessboards on that table back there. And just if I knew nothing about this game and it was my first day of playing and I came across this camp in the wasteland, I would think Bethesda made it. It's done that good. A lot of the scenes in the game are telling a story, and this one you've managed to pull together in such a way that it really tells the story of an art studio / cabin.
Yeah, this is phenomenally well done. And to be honest, the confetti thing, you'd mentioned this earlier, that you know, it's simulating like paint drops on the floor, like they'd been painting a lot throughout this entire place. I think that's the best use of confetti that I've seen up to this point,
Yeah.
probably.
The only time I've ever used confetti is when like a piece of grass would pop up through my foundation. So it's nice to actually see it, you know?
Yes, and I love this with the paint cans laying around, and he actually gave this person who's painting the picture a partner. There's not normally two skeletons here. So you've got this couple here that have been living here, and this was a masterclass in storytelling.
Absolutely.
And Acid Rain. Now this was entered in our intermediate section, and I'm going to tell everybody right now, if you are building vehicles, that is definitely not intermediate. That is the advanced class. It takes a lot of manipulation. This was extremely smart. So this is by the Oregon Cave. Look at the diffs on the ground. They're using the top of the Mothman decorations, and then like the vehicle itself. Let me pause this real quick here. That way we can see it from the side. There's a stash box here. You've got a stash box up here. The exhaust are the skeleton arms. There's generators merged in the top. You'll see that from a different angle. You've got your telescope here, spine candles, the skull. This front, I don't know if they're using that kind of like aerodynamics, or if it's a simulated bumper. Either way, it works, and it works fantastic. Power armor station for the roof. They have a seat so you can sit in this. This is phenomenally well done. Definitely not in the intermediate class, that's for sure. This is really good.
Yeah, when I first seen this, it immediately made me think of that show called The Munsters. It's like a Munster mobile. It's like I don't know how to describe it. You see it there in the video, but just definitely not intermediate. So we kicked you up to the advanced section, and now Acid Rain, you are for here and ever banned from the intermediate section. You can only submit in the advanced, because this is not beginner level build here.
Trav's putting his foot down. He's like, ban Hammer, get out the intermediate.
But in a good way. I mean, that's got to be the best compliment. You're banned from the intermediate. I mean, yeah.
Well,
normally I don't like. Go ahead.
I get this a lot. There's a lot of people that slip up in the DMs, and they're like, I don't know what class to put it in or whatever. We are our own worst critics, This right here, look at that. They put the tire in there like it's a tire changing machine. It's creative, but honestly, we are our own worst critics. This is definitely not intermediate, and that's a positive thing. We're not bashing you. But I understand. I get a lot of people saying, hey, where should I put this, And you can contact me if you do have questions or something like that in that aspect.
And usually I don't like camps in this style where everything's just thrown out in the yard and there's no structure. But they did it in such a way where it's done well and it sticks to the theme. It's very Raider-ish, very punk rocker-ish, and it's just the theme throughout is brought together in such a way that it's cohesive and it fits right into the wasteland. This seems like a Raider stop and shop where you can get your car tuned up. You got the gas pump over there. We could put new tires on your rims for you. Oof, gas prices are high. I was at 100.
Yeah, it's the wasteland prices and everything. It's great.
Inflation, something else. But yeah, really good job, Acid Rain.
Yeah, it's amazing. Definitely an amazing build. And, no, not these people again. No, I'm kidding. The Akiras, they are a duo. We've got a couple that like to camp build together, and amazing stuff. I mean, if you guys don't know the Akiras, you've been hiding under a rock. Fantastic. I love that tree in the background with the shrubs in it. It sucks that the shrubs are flat on the bottom, but that's just how Bethesda made them. I love the idea of it, and from a distance, it looks very Loraxy. I love that.
Yeah, and I like this scene right here with you have the butterflies, the mushrooms in the rock, the toxic goo hot tub sunk down, growing the new plants that we got with that shelter bundle. It just if steampunk and like cyberpunk and Dr. Seuss had a baby, that's your camp. This is what happens.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Over the top.
And right here, this is awesome. I love this incubator idea. It just came out good. And of course, they've got their pile of junk for walls that they're just known for and famously do amazing jobs at.
So well done. You got the gas awnings here. I mean, not awnings, the gas marquees for this side wall here. And then on the inside, we're about to go in here in a second, you'll see they merged the martini light on the inside to give it another texture and throw some lighting out there. Brings a nice vibe when we go in here in a second. You'll see what I'm talking about. You got the Nuka-Cola machines on the right here with the vents, with the kitchen cabinets, and this door. Love it. There's that sign with the martini sign in there. This cryo bed, I absolutely hate it, but I love it on a kitchen counter like that. I don't use it in my build personally, but right there in this scene, it really fits well.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Akiras. They have ruined their own reputation in the sense that if they did anything less than something crazy, people are just going to be really disappointed. And it's because their standard is so high.
Right. It's hard to top yourself every time, but they seem to pull it off every time. They one-up themselves each and every time.
Yeah, it's really well done. I mean, you don't even need commentary with the Akira stuff. What you need to do is put it in slow-mo and then watch it about 30 times, and then you might see all the merges.
This bathroom, we'll see here in a second. Look at this toilet. They put a push button with the milk machine for the toilet. Come on now. You got the Sentomatic over there on the right. I mean, that doji style wall with those awnings. Curtains, sorry. The curtains. It's like Japanese almost. It's really, really awesome. I love how you lit up the car here, the overgrown car. Throws that light through that grass so perfectly. Lighting is really well done, Akira's whole camp as a whole.
Just another completely amateur build by the Akiras. So it said nobody ever. And then we have Zen. This is mind-boggling to me. Zen is one of them people that when he builds a camp, he always has a backstory. Now, the story of this one is that, this character is an electrician, and he's not very good. And those were his words, not mine. And we'll see as we go why he's not very good at this. But he always has a backstory, and he's phenomenal at telling it.
Absolutely. If you look behind this glass here at all the different animations, you got the mole rat generator, you have the light boxes on top, you have another generator emitting power, you have chessboards in the roof. Now, this whole section here, you could see all his tools, his workbenches, all the different stuff this character needs to get the power out to the wasteland. And it's really painting the scene for me in my head of this as a functional power station.
Well, yeah, in this little workshop area, everything's completely cluttered up like it would be a wastelandy workshop. And
yeah, pulling parts from the radio there. Such a good level of detail and attention to detail in this camp. That could be missed at first glance, but if you really sit there and analyze each one of these scenes here, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's always a lot going on with him. And again, I love the fact that when he's developing a camp, he always has a backstory. And I do the same thing. Whenever I create something, I create a backstory, and I keep going back and referencing that. That helps guide you in a direction throughout your build, at least for some of us. Now, This is the part where we end up learning why this is a terrible electrician. And it is just yet another wasteland tragedy that we have to be forced to witness. It's horrible.
Yeah.
If OSHA made videos for the wasteland, this would be what not to do. Look at that. No PPE. He didn't have his arc flash gear on. No nothing.
Yeah. If you look at the amount of items they used here on that tower itself, it was what, a lightning rod, a telephone pole, a vendor, the alien mainframe set. There's so many different items. I hope it shows it again, because all the conduits and the wires. Yeah, here we go. Alien power generator, the new power generator we got recently right there in the front there. Just so many different items merged together to pull off that effect. Did a really good job, Zen.
Yeah, this is amazing. And because of the copyright stuff, I didn't put the audio in there, but you guys need to check that out. It's really amazing. Now, this is Alistair Severus returning again, and I am just going to pause this really briefly. Okay, so this camp, when you look at it, it's going to look very plain and simple, but it's not. The devil is in the details. This entire building is made out of the fireplaces. So what they essentially had to do was line up all these fireplaces so they're nice and straight, destroy them, and then put these walls in behind it. Now, these walls are the pavilion ones, but I want you to remember that not only are these walls here, but they had to take these chimneys and then position them so the wall was still exposed. So there was several, hey, destroy this, place this, destroy this, place this, and they're just moving it very, very minute amounts until they got everything lined up where they wanted it to be. Here is another fireplace. It's the chimney. Half of it's on the outside. When we go inside, I want you to pay attention. Half is on the outside, half is on the inside. So they have a windowsill in the interior and exterior. And that windowsill on the interior, they've got mats on them, tables merged into them to create different textures. So pay attention to the details on this, because when you first look at it, especially from a distance, it looks relatively simple, and it is anything but.
I really like what you did with the underpinnings here, and the choice of walls that you used makes it look like a curb. And how you sunk down these rocks around those statues, and just the roses. It's a really nice garden you got here, like a courtyard style. Elegant. It looks like this is pulled from another game,
Well, and again, it doesn't look like anything that extravagant. But here, let me see. This front shot. Again, this is a wall. This is our pavilion wall. This window is another wall. So these are double walled, but no, they're not. They're triple walled because they're using these fireplaces in between all these areas, and that's what you're seeing. So they had to position this fireplace, that chimney, just very, very carefully to where you could see the actual window frame, but not the wall that's attached to it. So this is a lot of really precise placement in order to do that. And again, it doesn't look all that fancy until you really start analyzing the details. And that's one of the reasons why it takes us so freaking long to judge these and to go through them, because there's a lot of times we're doing exactly this. This is exactly the same process, whether we're voting or you guys are watching it. We're pausing this stuff, rewinding it, and it takes a lot of time because we don't want to miss things like that.
All right. What you did here is you essentially built your house twice. you know, using all those fireplaces and then the double walls. And it's still, when we go in here, it's still nicely decorated for the amount of budget you had left. It's, look, your countertop's full here. We'll see in a second. You know,
you mean the non-counter counters?
right.
Yeah, those aren't counters, and that's what I love. Alistair has produced some really good stuff. That windowsill, there's a table on that one. This other one, I think that there's a mat on that one.
Looks like yeah, that's the Thanksgiving Day mats, I think, out of that bundle.
There's tables in this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the little devils in the details, and everything is placed with such precision. Alistair has some serious OCD, and I'm calling you out on that because I have OCD, and if I recognize it, my friend, you definitely have. It's definitely a thing.
Yeah, it's perfection.
Yeah, but
If
it's
you see-
really, really good.
Right. If I see anything in here out of place, it's done on purpose, you know, and that's what I like. If something's a little crooked, you did it on purpose. It wasn't because you just slapped it down and went on to your next section, you know. It's very methodical, very precise building
I
here.
want to say that Alistair started submitting when I was doing the challenge contests where, you know, we would limit people's things. Like they all had to build in the same location, and we are bringing those back. We're not done. I'm just trying to iron out the whole top 5 thing, but we are going to be doing the challenge builds and stuff. So, you know, that is coming back. But right here, we've got that Tinker's bench in that dresser. It just, I think that's when Alistair started submitting, though, was during the challenge builds. And I have not been disappointed at anything that they have done. It's all been way over the top like this.
The level of difficulty here is high. If you mess with those chimneys and getting them lined up, look at that wall.
That's the thing.
You see
they're not that bad to work with, but getting them all lined up is, whew, can be a pain in the ass.
I like how you put these extra archways in this doorway here. So overall, smashed it. Really good job.
Yeah,
I say smashed it. I say smashed it in a good way.
Now for a couple of honorable mentions. First off, we have Lady H, and this was so close to getting the top 5, but you did have a couple of little overlaps. We had some clipping, and there were some gaps in some things, but extremely, extremely freaking close. I like this camp a lot. And girl, you better enter this into Bethesda's contest, because this is a really, really extraordinary camp. But there was a little gap like on the door right there with that center post on the fridge, and there were some other clipping issues that we had seen, but nothing crazy. It was a fantastic build. I like it. And I think, honestly, if you enter this into their fishing contest, I think there's a real good possibility that you're going to be in those top contenders. You did a fantastic job. I've been following her builds and stuff like that for a long time. I mean, Lady H is legendary. She's one of the true OGs. Very, very talented builder. I like this camp, though. It came out really, really good. Look at that. That was fantastic. That was a really good scene that you set there. And then also, this is a new one. It's a Twisted Rose 78. This one, I'm gonna call them out on this one. I think that this was the best merge that we had out of every camp, and I'm gonna show you why when it comes up in the video here. It's pretty freaking amazing. Right there, that boat engine. And they're gonna show it again here in a second. They created a boat engine using the Watoga miniature set. And that goes down to where your prop would be and stuff like that. They've got the conduit for the handle. They used a lunchbox and then put an alarm clock on the inside. But that is an extremely convincing boat engine. Fantastic job. Both me and Trav were talking about that. We were kind of in awe over that. That is my favorite merge out of every camp this week. I love that. Very creative. But fantastic job to everybody. I mean, I love seeing the camps and the inspiration, the ideas that you guys come up with. Look at that boat motor. I love it. Love it. And now, the moment you were waiting for. In first place, we have, and I'm shocked, we have Zin. Now, he did not want to enter. He didn't think that his camp was good enough, and I absolutely love that camp. Fantastic job. So first place, definitely you, Zin. Great job. Second place, we have the Akiras. In third, Alistair. Yeah, in the advanced, Alistair. I'm going to say that again. Advanced Alistair. Fantastic. I love that. And I've got to see their builds evolve throughout time and everything. It's awesome. I love seeing what they do. The precision in their builds is phenomenal. In fourth, we have Acid Rain. And fifth, last but definitely not least, Dazmead. You did a fantastic job, buddy. I absolutely love that artist cottage. I think honestly that by far, I think that is the best storytelling at that location that I have seen yet. And I've seen quite a few little artist retreats over there, but you did a fantastic job. And again, our honorable mentions, Lady H, Twisted Rose 78, you two, amazing jobs. I mean, everybody always does great in these things, but I thank you very much for tagging along and bringing me along on this journey. That way we get to see all these amazing builds and get to share them with you guys. So I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one.
Yeah.